There's something about winter mornings that naturally invite us to slow down. The light is softer, the air is quieter, and instead of rushing into change, it feels better to gently prepare for what's coming next. Today, I'm sharing my February planner refresh, not by starting over, but by thoughtfully adding what supports this season and letting go of what no longer needs my attention. Welcome back to my home. I'm so glad you're joining me today. I'm up in my office looking out on a beautiful sunny winter day. We've had some snow, we've had some cold, so we're definitely settled back into winter-like weather around here. And I'm excited to get my planner refreshed for a new month. And I will have timestamps down below. So if you want to skip the unboxing or skip to certain parts of the video, just feel free to check that out and you can find whatever works best for you. Before we unbox February's Deluxe Planner subscription box from Jane's Agenda, I want to quickly explain the 3 Jane's Agenda subscription options because they're designed for different planning styles. First is the monthly cover club. Think of it like an outfit for your planner each month. You receive a themed cover set that gives your planner a fresh look without changing how you plan. So it's great for aesthetic lovers if you just want to feel like your planner is really matching the season, and it starts at $35 a month. Next is the planner lifestyle box, option 2. This is perfect if you love trying new inserts and accessories. So it will come with inserts, planner tools, and desk items, and it starts at $65 a month. Option 3 is the Deluxe Planner Box, which is what I receive and what I'm unboxing today. It's the combination of the Cover Club plus the Lifestyle Box. It's the most popular choice, it has the best value, and it starts at $85 a month. This option gives you the full experience, both functional and aesthetic, and it's what I personally love using for my monthly resets. Now, without further ado, we'll open the box. So February's theme is a Parisian Escape, and it's absolutely beautiful. And I will say I am so appreciative that Jane and her team keep trying to improve things. So this month, they heard all of us saying, oh, my beautiful box comes all dirty and covered in stickers and damaged. So they shipped these boxes actually inside of a plastic outer bag that had all the labels and got dirty and all that. So this box was especially nice to open because, as you can see, it's just a very simple outer design. It's just this nice kind of off-white color. And I opened up that pink bag and it was beautiful on the inside. So on the inside of this box, however, we have this gorgeous rose design. And this is a photo of roses. So it's not even, a painting or other kinds of design. It's actually just the roses themselves. I did open the box previously just to get everything moving along faster. So this was the sticker that came on the beautiful tissue paper. And our tissue paper this month just has that very light kind of blush French handwriting design, which they have this French handwriting on some other items in the shop already. So it had that little rose sticker on it. And then this is the box this month. And the color palette leans into these vibrant pinks with soft sepia tones and that vintage postcard feeling, like cafe mornings and dreamy daydreams. It feels romantic, it's creative, and it's perfect for a winter month that's slowly turning towards spring. So let's read what the card says. Each box will come with a card. On the front is kind of the introduction to the theme of the box, and then on the back, here's your sneak peek of everything that comes in the box. That's our tour card. Dear subscriber, welcome to February. Inspired by a vintage Parisian aesthetic, this box is designed to bring balance, clarity, and intention to your everyday life. Inside, you'll find thoughtfully curated pieces that support both work and personal planning, mindful note-taking, and a softer approach to organization. Each item helps remove excess and create space for what matters most. Here's to living with balance, clarity, and a beautiful sense of calm. Jane and team. And this is box number 66. So it is kind of fun. I've been noticing the numbers on the corner just to let you know how many subscription boxes they've done. And this, I think, is the last September was the 5th-year anniversary of the subscription box. So we've definitely kind of settled into a good rhythm where Jane and her crew know exactly what they're doing with these subscription boxes. So on the back, this is our tour card. It's going to give us the items that come in the monthly cover club and the items that come in the lifestyle box. And like I said, because this is deluxe, I get both of them combined. So I did try to set things aside in order almost of how they come. So we'll take everything out. I took most of the packaging off just to speed up this process since I know we're going to be doing some setup in here as well. Okay, so starting off with the items that come in the monthly cover club. The cover, of course, is the main item. So it's a plastic cover. You choose whether or not you want this elastic ribbon. So when you're selecting the cover club box or the deluxe planner box, it'll ask you if you want to add a ribbon. And the ribbon means this elastic band that's attached to the back cover. So if you didn't get the ribbon, then both covers would be a little more reversible. But because I choose the ribbon because I like to be able to keep my planner closed with it, then it's really only a front and a back. But beautiful design. I think it's kind of cool how essentially this whole part of the planner mirrors itself, and then the back just has the addition up here. And I did go ahead and take off the film. So when you get Jane's Agenda planners, especially the ones that have this UV printing, the back or the inside of the cover is going to have a film that you tear off or pull off, and that way it is truly like a clear glass plastic cover. So gorgeous cover there, and just like Jane said, these look even more beautiful in person. It's really hard to see on camera, but they truly are like a photograph of real roses, and it looks three-dimensional, like you're seeing these roses sit on my desk here. So we have your plastic cover, then you're going to get a set of dashboards, cardstock dashboards, and these come double-sided and reversible, meaning the back of one is the front of the other. So that way you can pair them in your planner and have the front and back of your planner look the same. So this is that sepia toned look that they paired with the colored image on the front. So if you put these front and back in your planner, try to get the tabs to line up a little bit. It's always kind of tricky to do that, but that's how it would look this way. So of course the back would look the same, or if you flip-flopped and put the roses, which is kind of a pretty look too. I think I'm going to probably end up with the flower market here on the front. Then you have front and back with that same design of the black and white or sepia toned rose mark or flower market roses, and that's the back. So that's the cover set, essentially the cardstocks and the plastic. And the third item you're going to get in your monthly cover club is a page finder that coordinates. And again, if you really want your planner to feel very seasonal and fresh for each month, then it's a great option to do the cover club. So your interior planner of your disc-bound planning system stays the same. You just get to swap out how it looks on the outside, and then this page finder is something you can add to make it feel a little more seasonal and like it all coordinates. So it's kind of hard to see on that. Let me show you here on this white one. So there you can see this kind of beautiful vibrant pink French handwriting, and the way these are designed is you will have your page finder that sticks out. Let me show you this way. So you can see the page finder is going to stick out just enough to be able to easily turn to the page. Let me get those lined up. There we go. So it'll stick out just a little bit and you can easily find your spot, but it's not too far out that it's going to impede with the cover. So that's the other thing I really like about Jane, is how she designs everything. So let me see if I line up all of my punches. There we go. And I'll give you this to kind of see the background. It's not perfectly square because it's tilted a little bit, but you can see it doesn't stick up very much at all from the actual planner itself. So it's going to protect your page finder too. Okay, so that's our cover club set, the page finder, the 2 dashboard cardstocks, and the outer plastic cover. So we'll set this aside for a minute. Now let's look at the items that would come in the planner lifestyle box. So let's say you love the cover that you have on your planner. You don't want to change out your cover, but you would like to have some new inserts each month and exclusive things that we don't get in the shop until later. and decorative items and things like that. Then the planner lifestyle box might be the thing for you. So with that, we're going to get everything else. And I have the whole stack here, including our little pouch of all the small items. So let's go ahead and start though with the thing that was on top, which you probably saw. So this is the luxurious pebble grain leather pouch. And what I love is they have thought of all the details. So it's a very slim design. It has just enough room to tuck things in there. And this is a more flexible, what is this called? I guess like the spine of this is very easy to pop it in and out of your planner. And I'll show you that here in just a minute. And this color, somebody was asking online, it's darker than this one. If you have the like Traveler's Notebook style wraparound from Jane's Agenda, it's darker than that. It's definitely darker than the shell cover. So it's more of a true taupe with that little hint of purple underneath. And what Jane said is this is custom designed for them. It has a really nice metal zipper. She is a zipper snob, so the zippers are always going to be really good. And this is basically the price of the box. So you're getting a really good deal when you get any of their subscription boxes, but especially the lifestyle and the deluxe box. You're getting awesome deals on everything included. So it's really luxury items that you're getting, and you're getting a good price because it's all lumped together in that subscription box format. All right, then let's look at our little collection of small items that came in the box this month. So we have, and hopefully I wasn't holding that too far up. I always kind of forget where the top of my screen shows. I think it's okay there. All right, so we're going to have some quote cards. There's usually a pen or marker, not every month, but often we get those. And then some other items as well. So first of all, our thank you card is this lovely design, this rose Paris design on the front, that rose pink. And then on the back, it's going to be just a little thank you from them. And there's the link to the exclusive subscriber page where you have extra wallpapers and shopping options and different things like that. So we have the card, we have our friction erasable highlighter. Super excited about this because I use the friction highlighters and love them. So any of the friction pens or highlighters, the way that they work is once the ink is dry, you can use the little rubber tip on the other end of the pen or marker and just erase, and it erases beautifully. It's not like those old-fashioned erasable pens we remember as kids that felt like sandpaper when you erased and then it tore up your paper. Doesn't do that. So we've got our nice little highlighter there, and then we have some quote cards. We have one that says possibilité, possibility in French, and then she has that certain je ne sais quoi, which of course on the back tells us what it means, a quality that cannot be described or named easily. Basically it means I don't know what. So she has that certain I don't know what, or je ne sais quoi. So those are very pretty, and this is that soft buttery texture to it. This is just a regular cardstock, so it's kind of fun to have that soft touch in there as well. So we've got those, and then the third little smaller card here is actually black post, or what are these called? Page flags, black page flags. And Jane was showing these, and it was kind of hard to see just how, like, they are transparent slightly, or translucent, I should say. So on here, like, you really can't see that. I'm trying to think of how else to show you the transparency. It's very, very much more on the opaque side, but it's still that really thin plastic. So I don't know, you could maybe write on these with like a gold or silver marker, something that's more of like a paint pen, but I think these would be fine just to use more as, you know, kind of a page marker situation, or just flagging certain things that you want to see. So that's kind of fun to have that. I like that it all coordinates with the theme of the box. I don't know if I'll use this, like, sometimes what I'll do is use one whole pack for everything in my planner for a while until it's gone. This one I might just use here and there to mark certain things that I want to find. All right, then we have our Rose hybrid dashboard. So a hybrid dashboard in the Jane's Agenda world means it is, whoops, things are sticking together a little bit. So it's going to stick up above your planning pages. Again, let's try to get something where, I don't know if you can see that. There we go. I'll take this out. This is the other thing. We got this note paper, but I'm just trying to show you show you what I mean here. So we'll talk about the note paper in just a second. It's gorgeous, by the way. So when you have a hybrid dashboard, it's going to stick up a little bit taller than a page finder. So that's also nice because if you're trying to feel along the top of your planner, you can pretty easily tell the difference. And I don't know how well you can see that, but the page finder sticks up taller. Sorry, the hybrid dashboard sticks up taller than the page finder. And then the hybrid dashboard is wide enough for sticky notes. So you can stick your sticky notes on there and then have some place to keep them, and especially because it's this smooth plastic, they're going to stick really well and you can find them easily because they're at your page marker. So we have the hybrid dashboard and it has that gorgeous rose design. I mean, how pretty is that, just laid on top of that note paper and sort of layering those roses. We have this note paper, obviously, we got that. So I'll kind of tuck that up there. We have the black page flags. We got the hybrid dashboard. What else is in here? This is what I'm really excited about, actually. I know the decorative stuff is always really pretty too, but I am excited about this new weekly 33 design. So if you've been following along, I have been using I have to remember the number, the weekly 32, is that right? Is that the one we just got in the January box or the December box? I think it was the January box. So I'm using that in my planner. We'll look at that in a second when we actually go to reset my planner. But first of all, I love that she's doing this new cover page on her inserts. So it kind of gives you just a feel for how they designed it, what its purpose is. Then we have this design where I'm trying to get enough room to show you. It's meant to be something that you could use in conjunction with the other weekly, I think it's weekly 32 design. So that one is meant to be more like a work planner insert. This one is more to hold all of your personal information. And then there's a slight light dashed line there that if you want to fold it either direction, you could do it, but you can keep your, let's see, I'm getting it too far over. Let me try to fold it where I actually fold it on here. You can keep your personal information hidden by doing this little fold here. That's a little bit better. So on the front, or if it's folded on the front, we have your days of the week with enough space to write like your main appointments. She also has the moon phases on here, and I believe the holidays if there is one. And then on the inside is what we have that's more of your personal stuff. So priorities, active projects with a due date, a place for a habit tracker with 6 habits, a place to note any bills that need to be paid that week and the amount, and then a short section for your menu plan for the week. On the right-hand column, we have a section for calls and emails, to buy, and tasks. And I'm actually glad to have this because I've been using my notebook, the task list notebook that we got last month. Still love it, still using it all the time. But the only thing I was kind of noticing is I was missing a place to go to put my errand list. So usually I have a to buy / errands list because I only go running errands once or twice a week. I try to limit it to just be one day a week. And I was just kind of making it work in the notebook, but I think this will actually solve that problem, plus give me a few other spots that I was kind of, I can put them in the notebook, but it's like if you want to go back and find it, it's a little harder when you're just flipping through pages and pages of to-do list items. So this is a good place to collect those things that are ongoing throughout the week, and I'm not sure when I'm going to do them. And then the back side, like I mentioned, it has the days on one side, and then the other side is just dot grid. So if you wanted to keep all of your personal stuff here, especially things like your bills, private in your work planner, you can have this little folded insert that easily lets you do that. And you just have the dot grid on the back, so you could use that for notes if you wanted to. Or if you don't want to fold it, you can also just leave it open, but know that you have this extra little insert within your week to see these items. And the other option, of course, is if you're like me and it doesn't really matter because I'm not in an office environment with a bunch of other people. I have a boss and she's in her office and I'm in mine and it's fine. Then I might do it like this, where I can easily see my calls and errand list and task list and this information. And I may not necessarily need this side as much because I already have that laid out in my weekly hourly planner that I'm using. And so it would just be a place for notes. So that's most likely what I'll end up doing, because I do like having it folded where I can still see my full week at a glance on that other hourly planning page. So that, and I believe she said this is a full set of inserts, which it feels like it's easily 20 pages, if not more. Let's see. So there's 1, 2, I think I counted 22 pages there. So that's the new weekly 33 insert set. So that's exciting to have. Let me just kind of flip flop the last couple of things here that would come in your lifestyle subscription box. And that would be these sets of dashboards. So you're going to have this set, which this is even a bonus. Normally we would just get 3, but now we have 3 plus a vellum. So the vellum says Femme in that gorgeous sort of fuchsia or magenta pink, and that is lovely layered on top of things. And then we have a double-sided piano keyboard there. We have the fleurs, which is gorgeous, a little Paris street there. And then we have the, I'm not sure which instrument. It could be a violin, maybe something else, viola, I don't know, but we have that as well. So these that come in the lifestyle subscription box are the same image on both sides. They're not the reversible ones like what comes in the cover club. And so you'd have those 3, plus you have your vellum. So let's see really quickly how this lays if we want to combine everything like we have here in the deluxe box. So I can layer it like that. That's actually very pretty. I like that subtle piano key look underneath. That's pretty to look at. We have, ooh, the Paris Street is fun. I think I like that. That might be my favorite. We have the instrument here, the string instrument, also very pretty. Now I want to see it as well with the 2 cardstocks that came in the cover club. So that's the benefit of getting the light or the deluxe box, is you can get everything, the lifestyle and the cover club. That's also really pretty, but I almost think I like the other street view better. And then the locks, the love locks, that's pretty too, but I already think I know which one I'm going to do for my planner. So let's set everything aside, and now we're going to get out my planner and do some fun resetting for a new month. And hopefully you can grab your planner. If you have this box, you can do the same thing, or just do what, shop your own stash and do what works for you as far as kind of a monthly refresh, and we'll do it together. Now I'm going to start updating my planner for February, and I want to do this with some intention. So let's look at, first of all, how my planner is looking. We'll kind of do a quick flip through. I'm going to set these aside, and then we'll do the process of changing things over. So this is the inside of my planner. I have the shell or beige snap-on cover from Jane's Agenda. And I did end up just keeping the January dashboard instead of the January cover, but we'll talk about that in just a minute. And then I have that beautiful calla lily behind there. Then we will flip to January so that you can kind of see how that's going. So I have the cardstock there and my January tab. I have my prayer and faith page, my monthly spread, so you can see how that's working. And I'm still using this system where the page finder I get in the monthly box gets turned upside down, and that helps me find my monthly spread as I'm using my planner. And then I have the check boxes on the back, one for home, or checklists, I should say, one for home, one for work. Now, I probably need to go in and update a few of these things. I have slowly been working on things. The Christmas, for one, I know the Christmas boxes, I think I'm down to just a couple of boxes because that last video we did a lot together. So I just have the 2 for the tree. So hopefully that'll get done today. And then I need to also update my habit tracker, but I have been using it and it's been working well to just have that monthly habit tracker to check in with. So I'm not sure if I'm going to use a weekly habit tracker. That kind of remains to be seen. And then I have my business momentum dashboard, which I explained all about that in previous videos when I was setting up my planner. The front of my weekly inserts, and these are the weekly 32 inserts that I'm using. So I'll just kind of flip through and you can see how these pages have looked as I've been using them and what kinds of things I've been filling out and completing. I like having my little weekly review. This is just the right amount for me to put a few sentences in about how the week went, but it doesn't feel difficult or overwhelming to do. So it's made it very easy to keep up with. And I also like having my checklist here of the things that I'm trying to keep up with that help with my mental well-being for the month. And then those all correspond to these items here. So these are my intentional habits that matter that I'm keeping up with there. And then here we are. This was this past week, and I got quite a bit done, but also, there's some things where I'm getting things done that aren't on the list. So, that tends to happen. Sometimes I procrastinate. So here we are this week. I still have my hybrid page finder, which I'm using. So this was one option I was using for errands, but I forget to look at this. So I don't know that that's really worked that well. And then of course I have these sticky notes my daughter gave to me. They're not sticking real well. So I probably need to just like stick them on a page and put a little glue tape underneath and use them up and be done. But I was so excited that she thought to buy those for me for Christmas. She's at the age now where she really does want to like get a gift for mom and dad, which is really sweet. So she's 11, by the way, if you don't know. So we are here on Wednesday, and I was mentioning before, I'm kind of using these to track my hours. I don't always go in and update it, and that's okay. That's not a huge deal to me. Sometimes it's helpful and I look back at it, and other times I just don't need it. So what we need to do, first of all, let me finish flipping through January. So this will be the last week of January next week. And I do have that planned out already. So that's one of the things I've been keeping up with is planning 2 weeks ahead. So that meant that I also had started planning for February. Hold on a second. I got called up for jury duty. So I had to take out the page with all the information about that. I don't know if I'm going to get actually called in, but next week could, or 2 weeks from now, could potentially be me doing jury duty. So we'll see. So I did kind of start this process a little bit, and this is my first week in February. So I did get this part set up so that I was keeping up with my 2 weeks ahead planning process. Okay, so now let's talk about how we're going to reset for the new month. So a couple of things we need. First of all, a little sneak peek. I'm pretty sure I'm going to swap out my shell cover for the blush cover because of course that's going to look so pretty with all those pink roses and red roses. But I have the January cover that we got, which says 2026. And this is what I did last year that worked out pretty well, is I used this cover as part of my archive planner that I create to catch my inserts as I finish them up each month. So we need to get some discs, and this is my disc storage box I pulled out of the closet, which I love how gorgeous this is. It's really working well. So what I know is I need the biggest discs I can get and that I'm not going to need for other things. And I also know that I really don't need a full set of discs because in the end, I'm going to take it off the discs and hopefully bind the whole thing together into a book. That's still coming. I haven't forgotten about that project. So I think what I'm going to do, even though these gold discs would look pretty, so these are Jane's Agenda, the large 2-inch gold discs. These would look pretty with it, but I only have 2, and I do think it'd be better to have 3 so I could have one at the top and bottom and one in the center. And these are, I think these are Tool brand. These might also be 2 or 3-inch discs, so they're pretty large and they're just plastic, but that'll be fine. This is exactly what I was needing for an archive planner, something that's not permanent and that I'm not accessing and using very often, just maybe once or twice a month, once at the minimum. Sometimes I get in there and look at something, mid-month for whatever reason. So we're just going to pop these discs on, and it'll be really quick and easy to do this setup with just 3 discs as well. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, and 3. And then I'm going to go in here to January, and I think I'm ready to take my January tab out. So this is going to go in my planner supplies basket because I'll just reuse these as I'm starting next year's planner when we get closer to the end of the year. I'm going to take this dashboard out, and this will just go in my dashboard collection in that basket as well. So that's coming out. For now, I'm going to leave in the monthly calendar spread and this page finder. Let's go ahead and keep this one in because this is the January one. And I'm going to leave this habit tracker in here, but what I'm going to take out are the weekly pages in between that I don't need. So we're just going to pop those on there. 1 and 2 and 3. And because mid-month like this or end of the month, I always feel like my planner is kind of getting full. So any extra pages and page finders I can take out is better. And I think I'm ready to go ahead and switch out my hybrid dashboard. We're going to switch to the one that came in the box. We're just going to do this kind of as I'm coming across things. I got to find it. Well, maybe I lied. Maybe we'll do that later because it's buried in here somewhere. All right, when I find it, we'll put that on. Okay, these things I don't need. Those need to go back. So we're going to take this out. This needs to go back. Now, I do kind of like this decorative deco card here, quote card. So I'm going to take that out. I may put that at the front of my planner. I'm not sure. And set it aside for right now. So let's go to February, and I need to do a couple of things in February, and then we'll finish with the cover last. I do think I'm done with the archive bit. I think that's everything I need for the archive. So now this little archive planner just sits on the side of my desk on the bookshelf, and as I go through each month, I just add to it. Okay, so February, this is what I was going to do. So first of all, this is the weekly 32 insert collection. That's what I wasn't quite sure it was the number, but that is correct. So I already have in here, I think I have 2 weeks worth. I stopped there. So we're going to go in here and get February's and stop at March. Let's see. Yeah, so that ends with that. Okay, so there we have the rest of my weeklies, and now you can kind of see how these work. Let's go ahead and go to this week because I'm actually kind of curious to just go ahead and start using these. And I think, did she give us, yeah, this is this week. She gave us, where are the inserts? There we go. Okay, oh, and I found the hybrid. Perfect. Okay, so with the weekly 33, these are dated, and the first one starts next week. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in for next week, which is fine because that way I can start collecting my list of items here. And I think I'm going to fold it this way because I really want to see this list here. And then, you know, this is a way to keep these kind of items more front of mind too. And then that lets me have still my overall schedule at a glance here and my bigger projects and to-do items here. But I can, if I want to not use my little task list notebook, I could just use this, but I really kind of like having that notebook as a separate thing. So I think I'm still going to keep that up. But if I'm planning ahead, that's what's nice. Having this list here lets me drop items in on the week they belong as I'm planning ahead, and then they don't just kind of go into the notebook and I don't know where to go with them. So that's the beauty of having that one in there. And then let's go back to this week here, the week of the 19th, and we're going to drop in my hybrid dashboard. And I did notice I had a couple of, let's go ahead and put this errands list. I'm going to actually put it down here where you can't really see it as much because of all the flowers. And then this is a blush sticky note. We'll put this up here because it's going to blend better with everything. And then this is one of the beige or sand stickies. And then I think I'm just going to find somewhere maybe in those January pages or in a different planner or like my memory keeping book that I'll just pop those little stickies, which are so cute. So, but I'm kind of tired of them falling out of my planner. So we're going to shift those over for now. I think I'm going to just tuck this one right over here under that flower there. You can barely see that. So that works. I think that's good. And actually, I think I'm going to put this down here. Now that I'm seeing it open, I kind of like, whoops, I like being able to see my Bible verse up there a little more clearly. There, I like that. So I've got that done. Now, final thing, we'll go back to the front of the planner and switch things out up here. I like this one. Let's see what I think though once I switch out the cover. So this is where we're going to start. So this is my like leftover pieces from my prayer board, and I decided just to put them together on a little page in the front of my planner, kind of like a travel prayer board that goes with me. These were a little bit of everything that I just had left over. So I'm going to take out both of those dashboards. Those will go in my stash. Set aside my weekly 33 pages. Oh, wait. I got distracted. Sorry. Let me bounce back to February. Let me finish putting in these inserts. I forgot to do that. So then we'll finish up the cover. All right. I got pulled away in a different direction. So here's the week of February 2nd, which goes here. Okay. And the week of February 9th, which goes here. And of course, if you didn't need this hourly at a glance, you could just use these as your only weekly, and that could work too. The week of February 16th. So that's going to go there. It's really cool too how she has these designed where that top right corner is where you see all the information, even though they're both completely different designs. And then the week of February 23rd. Then this next one is for March. So now we can set these aside and go to the last part of this process, which is the front and the cover, and kind of do the fun stuff. So, okay, so what I started to say was, let's get the cover. And we know for sure I like this and I want to use this in the front of my planner. The only thing is my planner is getting a little full. I might have to, this is a heavier plastic, so I'm trying to make sure I don't bend it. There we go. Sometimes I kind of rock the discs back and forth, and that lets me ease the tabs over the side of the disc without bending it. So it is getting a little full. So I may have to go in and look at some of my other tabs and see if there's anything I can take out. We're going to try this here. Actually, let me look at this for a second. That's really kind of pretty like that with my little prayer board in the front. But I think I want something a little more finished looking, not so scrapbooky. Not that that's bad. It's just, I don't know that that's what I want at the very front. I love the way that femme looks with the pops of pink. And then the one I was really kind of leaning towards was this little city street here. And seeing all these things, I can't help but think of the movie Chocolat, and now I want to watch that with all these French vibes. Yeah, I like that. I think that's what we're going to go with there. I don't even need to try the other ones because I like that one the best. So we have that front cover, and I don't think I'm going to use any of these note pages in my planner just yet, but I like having these for journaling pages. Periodically, I'll just take one out and if I want to do some journaling. I don't need the back cover because when you use these vegan leather snap-on covers, you don't need this. Then I want to keep a Jordan Essentials catalog in here, but they're going to be coming out with a new one next week, so that's kind of fun. But for now, that's the one we have. Okay, so before I take it off, let me just make sure I'm thinking that I do want to switch it out. But I mean, come on. That's so pretty. This is fine too. This could totally work, especially because the sepia tones in that dashboard underneath really do work well with this beige cover or shell cover. But I do love the pink just because we're getting into February and it just feels very appropriate. So I'm going to take this off and we'll switch it out for the blush snap cover. Let's see if I can do the same thing, just kind of gently work these off. Now these are not quite as delicate as that hard plastic, just seems to have less give. But I still like to be kind of mindful of just how much force I'm putting on there as I pop it on. Okay, and then do we want, yeah, that's so pretty. I just love that it kind of gives my planner that nod to the roses and the February vibes, and then when I open it, it's just right there. So as far as a set of decorative things here, I want to keep my own Be Your Own Kind of Beautiful. Keep that. I kind of like that just centered down here. So we'll do that, and I just have some like museum putty sticky tack on the back, and sometimes when I'm moving it, I just kind of rough it up and then it'll stick back down to that, and that seems to be working really well to hold things down and not damage anything. And then let me see, do I want to keep this one? I still like it, but I just don't know if it works. Ooh, it does kind of work. It's more blue than black, but or we have Possibilité, or we have, she has that certain Je ne sais quoi, which is also pretty. I might do that. Or I might do just this. Keep it kind of simple. Or there's also, ooh, okay, that actually looks really pretty on there. I might tuck that there and then do this. Let me get out a little more putty here because I just like having a little more of that pink and the Paris image there. So I'll put a little putty under the corners of this. I might need more in the end, but we'll just kind of start with that to get a feel for things. And then I think I can kind of layer this up a little more. Let's see, what do we want to use here? I think we're going to go all in on the French vibe, and we might tuck that there. I just don't know if I need Possibilité. I think we'll just do this. I kind of like that, where those things are layered over the Paris card. So let's do that. Stick one in the middle too. Okay, that feels decorative. Feels like it goes with the theme of the front. Gives me a little fresh take as I open my planner. I'll tuck back in my Jordan Essentials catalog since that's new. I don't know what the new one looks like actually. I mean, that's old. That's the original one that we have for fall, winter. Oh, and then the last thing, and we'll be done. Well, two last things. I got to flip to the back and change this out. Let's see how many. I think I'm going to take out. This is a daily page. I haven't used the daily pages lately, so I think I can take that out. I don't think I need this because I already have my notebook. I'm just trying to eliminate some pages here. And then I just have two blank dot grid pages. Let's just use one. Whoops, I dropped something. Oh. Okay. And then we need to, so that eliminated a couple of pages out of there. Take this cover off. Should have kept going with the direction I was. There we go. Okay. Take that off, and then we'll put on the blush cover, which is kind of nice. The blush cover has that black pen loop because that black just coordinates with all of the stuff from this February box. We'll tuck my pen in there, and I might actually switch out for, do I have it with me? Might be at work. I have a gold 4-color friction pen somewhere, or it's in someplace else, but I might switch that out so that I have, we'll do this for now. So this is my little notebook, and just for now till I find my other one, I think it's in my work bag still. We'll switch that out because that just looks nicer. But oh my gosh, gorgeous. And then, oh, the last thing besides that I needed to do was to go to February and get my little page finder here and flip it upside down this way and pop that in for the month of February. So that just has that little bit of French handwriting. Yes, it's upside down, but honestly, it's fine. I don't really ever need to read it. It's just there so I can find the month. And then as soon as we're out of January, then I'll take out the last couple of January pages in this page finder, and that will thin up my planner a little bit as well. But I love having that. I do have the stickers, so I might look at the Jane's Agenda gold stickers I have and see if there's one that says this week or today, because I could label that on here if I wanted to. Honestly, I don't need it because I already know that's what that tab brings me to. But oh my goodness, so nice to have that done. So I already feel a little more refreshed and ready to go for February. It is a little tight because I have those January pages in there, but I think once I take out January, then it'll thin up and be good to go. And I'm trying to think if there was anything else. Oh, I almost forgot. The most fun thing is this. Now, because my planner is pretty full, it's probably not going to be something I use on a regular basis. But what I wanted to show you was, of course, you can pop it in there, and it is pretty thin. Like, it doesn't take up a ton of room in there. So if you really wanted to just have like some note paper or sticky notes or quote cards in there, business cards, you could do that. What I thought about doing with it is um, putting some of my favorite pens in here and highlighters, and then it could just be like a working bag that when I want to take it with me, I can pop it on the outside of my planner like this so that it just stays with my planner and it's easy to pick up the two of them to use and or to take on the go. And then when I'm going to use it, if I want to take this off, I can, but let me see what it's like if I just flip open. Yeah, if it's got pins and stuff in there, it's kind of bulky, but it's super easy to take that off. So then I can open to my page that I'm working on and have all my favorite pens on the side. So we'll see if I decide to do that, but I think this is really cool to have. The other way it might be handy is we have Jordanvention, or anytime you travel, and if you wanted to just bring like some of your favorite supplies in something like this and have it clipped inside your planner, but still be kind of discreet and not a whole bunch of bags that you're trying to take around with you. I think it's great for that, and it's made so well. Like this is super flexible, so it's real easy to pop in and out. I don't have to worry about that and be as delicate with it, and it's going to be handy to have. So there we go. That's everything for my February planner refresh. Of course, as we wrap up January, I'll go through and do some of the like questions and review things here. I'll do the wins and opportunities and a brain dump. And then I also need to set up my February prayer and spiritual focus page and do a little more decorating. So that will all be coming. So stay tuned for that. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining me. I hope that gave you a chance to do a little refresh with your planner as well. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. Of course, check the description box. I'll have links to things and the timestamps like I mentioned. And if you enjoy slow, intentional planning and homemaking rhythms, I'd love for you to subscribe and join me here each week. If you're curious about Jane's Agenda subscription boxes, I will have everything linked below so you can explore that and see which option fits you best. Thank you so much for spending time with me. Have a good one, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.